Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the Village of Roscoe Board meeting. It is Tuesday, March 18th. Shall we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Malco,
Here.
here, Block,
Here.
Sima,
Here,
Wright,
Here.
Gustafson.
Here. Approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 4, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Petty,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Sima,
yes,
Wright,
Yes.
Malco.
Yes.
Thank you.
Public comment. Is there anyone online or anyone present who wishes to make public comment at this time? Okay. President's report. I have several things to bring you up to speed on, but I will save them to the end when we get to questions and reports so that we can get through the rest of the agenda. Treasurer's report. You have within your shared folder the summation of expenditures. You are asked tonight to approve expenditures of $103,699.86. There is also payroll consisting of $110,472.51, making total expenditures for your approval tonight in the amount of $214,172.37. So may I have, also, if you look down, you will see that there were no motor fuel expenditures this particular pay period, and the motor fuel account balance is $1,718,104.33. So once again, you're asked to approve expenditures of $214,172.37. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second. Questions, comments? Right. Hearing none, calling for the vote, please.
Sima,
yes,
Block,
Yes.
Malco,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Petty.
Yes. Going on to the consent agenda, item number 5. May I have a motion to approve the special event permit for the VFW Post 2955 for the Memorial Day Parade Walk to the Cemetery to be held on May 26th. Roads will be closed at 9. Parade will kick off at 10. Is there a motion? to
So moved.
approve? Second. Vote please.
Wright,
Yes.
Sima,
yes,
Block,
Yes.
Petty,
Yes.
Malco.
Yes.
Item number 6, final action. May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-05, making appropriations for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2025, ending December 31 of 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
And as outlined earlier in the public hearing, should I repeat them again for this record? In summation, general totals, appropriations for operating expenses as well as capital projects that the board agreed upon will total approximately $12,085,975.50. And as I said, that covers operating expenditures and capital improvements for the year. So we have a motion and a second.
Petty,
Yes.
Block,
No.
Malco,
No.
Sima,
yes,
Wright,
Yes.
Is that okay?
3-2.
So the requirement passes or I vote.
Oh, check on this. To vote, I think you should vote anyway, but I will let you know, let me look at I think the needs majority for appropriation, so I will check.
I'll cast a yes vote.
Yeah.
Again, hopefully this passes. We cannot spend on anything until it does. No critical, nothing can be expended for any program at this time if this is not passed. So look it up and find out what the status is. Going to item number 7. May I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-R10, authorizing an agreement with the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms for the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network Enforcement Support Systems. This is an update of an agreement. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Wright,
Yes.
Sima,
yes,
Malaco,
Yes.
Teddy,
Yes.
Block.
Yes.
Item number 8. May I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-R11, authorizing an agreement for Leads Online in the amount this year for $2,666.
So moved. Second.
Just a comment reminder, this is a 3-year agreement, slight escalation each year over the next 3 years, but we plug in $2,666 for this year. So we have a motion and a second.
Teddy,
Yes.
Malaco,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Sima,
yes,
Wright,
Yes.
Item number 9, may I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-R08, resolution authorizing an agreement with State Line Fast Pitch Softball Inc. related to the use of Swanson Park.
So moved. Second.
Again, what was essentially agreed upon last year or last time around, and the change of document is greater fiscal accounting and reporting, as well as an increase in the rental fee to $7,500. And this board stipulated that they would take 3 installments of $2,500 over the next 90 days. And we will have an invoice sent out to that effect to collect the first $2,500 by the 31st of March. We have a motion and a second.
Wright,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Teddy,
Yes.
Sima,
yes,
Malaco.
Yes.
Item number 10. May I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-R09, directing the solicitation of proposals for the redevelopment of village-owned property located at 11243 Main Street.
So moved. Second.
Wright,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
Teddy,
Yes.
Sima,
yes,
Malaco.
Yes.
No new business that I know of. Questions and reports will begin with our engineer, Brandon Boggs, while he still has a speaking voice.
Yes. All right, so Carol asked me to provide an update on one of the projects that we will be working on over the next handful of months. Staff will be working on, and what we are working on currently is developing a proposal for a capital improvements plan, CIP. We had a very productive meeting. Tyler Nelson, who I believe you guys met during the RFP process, myself, Joe, and Carol. And what we did is we identified the major categories of projects that we would like to be included in that plan. Those categories generally will be streets, bridges, structures, and culverts, pedestrian improvements, which would be bike paths, sidewalks, safety improvements, which is signage, lighting, pavement striping, drainage improvements, which can be storm sewer projects, ditch grading, things like that, maintenance projects, crack ceiling, inlet repairs, more of the traditional routine year-to-year maintenance. Parks, capital purchases, and then public building improvements. And so this is going to be, it's going to be a long process. It is going to be something that we end up coming to you guys asking for projects that you would like to see included in that plan. But essentially, it's going to come as a high-level planning document that will initially or eventually be presented to the public and be a publicly available document. It's going to come with a certain amount of cost estimates for a lot of those projects. We probably are not going to get into the weeds in every single project, but we will have high-level estimates associated with that. And as of right now, what we're shooting for is actually the second meeting in April 15th, to present the proposal to you guys. So again, as of right now, we're just kind of keeping it high level, trying to establish the major categories of projects and planning that we want to include in the document. It will also come with lots of graphics, you know, things that the public likes to see. Talk about our jurisdictional boundaries. But essentially, yeah, we're going to be asking for your input on these as we start to develop some of these projects. And wanted to let you know that that's something that we're working on and looking forward to working with you guys and getting your input. So if you have projects that you know of, feel free. Obviously, this is going to be a long process to develop this. We're about a month out until we get a proposal back to you guys. But if you have projects in mind, please feel free to shoot them to me, email, call me. But we're going to be starting to develop that here very soon. So the goal eventually will be to have that presented, the final document presented to you guys prior to the budget process for next year. So I believe in the last meeting, we talked about roughly September is when we're going to start that planning process. So our goal will be to have that document available to you guys so that we can start the long-term planning. That's the thing that we have always needed here in the village and helps us secure grant funding, helps us work with other utility agencies and coordinating our projects together. So we think it's going to be a really good thing for the village to have.
And once we have the document, there will be the dynamic conversation where the board here will rank order and establish priorities for the first year, the second year. Usually these are a 5-year plan and they're renewed as some projects creep up and others are dealt with. So it's a multi-stage process, but it begins, as Brandon said, with getting agreeing to the proposal to hire Fair Graham to do the gathering of information and put together the improvement plan.
I guess I should add, one of the major processes of that will be actually updating our street study. So the village approved a street study back in 2014. Obviously, that's been 11, 12 years since that has been refreshed. So we're going to be taking a fresh look at all the streets, getting new ratings on the conditions of those roads and projected maintenance projects for those as well. So, and yes, we will have probably what we will present is Fairgraham will come up with a scorecard, essentially what we recommend as far as priorities of projects. But when we present that to you guys, it's obviously, you know, you're the decision maker. So you're going to be involved and we're going to need your input on what you would like to see, as Carol said, the next 5 years of project planning.
And while we're on the topic of engineering, residential roads, very briefly.
Yep. So our goal will be to, at the next meeting, have a proposal to you to start the design process for the residential roads. If you recall, those roads were the Hodges Run, the entire Hodges Run subdivision. And then around the library would be Andrews Circle, Terramat Court, Parkway Drive, but essentially that loop drive and then the loop of the, I believe they're a mix of single family and condos there, but the Terramat Court, which is the little loop off of the loop. So we're going to start that process. As of right now, the expected scope is just what we've been doing the past few years, from pavement removal and replacement. Troy and I will be going out looking. We do have some drainage improvements that we need to do as well, but we will try to capture that all in a proposal for consideration at the next agenda. I'm sorry, the next meeting.
And update on Bridge Street, if you are multi-use parking space, if you've driven by, you notice that forms were in place and perhaps concrete will be poured this week.
So they actually poured some of the curb
Today.
on the interior portion of the parking lot. Later this week, they're going to be working on the concrete out by the roadway. So that's gonna be the curb and gutter along the edge of the road, the sidewalk there, but their intent is to actually pour some more concrete this Friday, so they then have to let that cure. But the whole goal is to get that concrete in first up front by the road so that their equipment can then get in and do the rest of the work in the interior portion of the parking lot.
And hopefully with the passage of the budget tonight, if that vote holds, we can close on the property on Liberty. And only when we close on that property, because we have to have the authorization to expend the money, you can begin the process, or Fairgraham can begin the process of phase one, which is
Correct. Phase one environmental assessment, where we will look at historical records, work with the property owner to identify any potential environmental concerns that need to be kept in mind as that property gets developed. So obviously the hope is that nothing will be identified and we don't have to take any further action and do any testing or anything like that. But that first step in the due diligence process is looking at the historical records and identifying potential concerns.
And as for Hodges Run, the work proceeds with designing the infrastructure there and the placement. And again, we have to have the budget to expend the dollars to pay people who are doing these works and for the concrete slabs, which would not, as it now stands, not possible to do in alignment with Honolulu's high school schedule. Those kids are only available for work through the end of April because their finals take place in the middle of May, school's over, and the building has a policy of not having kids out of the building the 2 weeks prior to finals. So off-site preparation, they're only available through the end of April, and it's not possible to have that land prepared and concrete poured by, I'll just say April 30th. So that also is the rollout of that, the timing of that is in jeopardy also based on this budget that I hope passed. And other projects out there, I have asked Attorney Green to prepare a request for proposal for the OSLID, using the OSLID grant dollars so that we can begin Porter Park Phase 2. That should come before the committee of the whole on the 15th of April. A draft of that proposal, so we can get that project underway as well. And also on the 15th, a lot of things coming your way on tax day. On the 15th, you'll also hear from the Roscoe Garden Club. We met with them and we are going to initiate a hometown pride program. Very enthusiastic about it, have an opportunity to meet the organizers that will be underway. And in addition, on Thursday, the 13th, we met at North Point to hold the first informational meeting, developing a Roscoe Business Alliance. We had 12 people who had RSVP'd and 37 to 40 showed up. It was extremely energizing. People had good questions. I think people were enthusiastic about the concept. And we will follow up later this week or the beginning of next week, sending a personal invitation as to the next step, and that's to roll out the 501c3 and ask them to convene here, whoever is willing to. So once we get this invitation put together, I'll send a copy of the draft of the letter to you and I'll let you know. It never hurts to make personal contact with individuals to say, hey, no, maybe you missed the first meeting, come to this one. And David Cindy will have the presentation available online to those people who were not in attendance on the 13th. What did I leave out, Mike?
Sign up at Labrie property.
I meant first about the 13th.
Oh. I think we're good.
Just for you.
Okay, I think it was positive, the comments, and general comment from a few people is they feel that the tide has turned, that Roscoe's business friendly. And that was welcoming to hear. So. And I will send a note to North Point. They had very nice space for us. It was very gracious of them to do that. They furnish beverages in a very comfortable place. Okay, the update of the signage with the approval of the RFP, the sign is ordered and W Vinyl and Public Works will be attaching it to a wooden structure so that it can stand the test of wind and time and March weather. As soon as we get the print. And John will probably make the sign
It'll be kind of like the one we had for parking lot, but better and
and
not
sturdier.
temporary.
Okay.
Yeah,
So hopefully, first part of next week, it will be planted in the ground. Okay. Anything else? Oh, right. Trustee Wright, update on music in the park or Riverfest or what?
At this point in time, I would say it would be a no-go. I got an email back from Ho-Chunk Casino. I don't think anything's gonna happen fast enough with them. We did not hear back from Hard Rock at all. We were approaching them as premier sponsors. But I don't think the timeline's gonna fit. Joe and I met and it's, I mean, we're gonna look at next year. It's just we're up against a big gun and we just can't, without a definite yes, like yesterday. We're unable to approach any other sponsors if we don't have a big sponsor right now.
Well, next year will be.
Yeah, next year we'll shoot it for it, for sure.
Okay. Anything that we left out, any other questions that board members may have about lingering projects, questions, status, reports? Well, if you think of it, we can always address it. Public comment, is there anyone online with any public comment? Anyone in the audience? Hearing none. Executive session, no need for executive session. May I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Can we find out if the vote held?
Majority.
Did does the budget pass? Do I know?
Majority vote, yeah, we have 3-2, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Or 4-2, yeah.
Malaco,
yes.
Petty. Yes. Swap,
Yes.
Sima,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
thank you.
Meeting is adjourned at 6:53. Want to just roll it, Eddie? Right?